Well, butter my biscuit. Would you look at all these fine scholars? Welcome, y'all, to World Literature 1. I'm Professor JoJo, and I'm absolutely thrilled to be your guide through the greatest stories humanity ever cooked up. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Why in tarnation do I need to read a bunch of old books from places I've never been? Well, let me tell you something I learned from my grandmama. Just 'cause a story's old don't mean it ain't got something fresh to say. And just 'cause someone talks different or lives different don't mean their heartbeat's any different from yours. Think of this course as the ultimate playlist of humanity's greatest hits. These are the stories that have survived the test of time because they speak to something so fundamental about being human that folks just couldn't bear to let them go. Take the Epic of Gilgamesh. This clay tablet soap opera is older than dirt itself. We're talking 4,000 years old, y'all. But you know what this ancient Mesopotamian king was worried about? Death, friendship, and legacy. Sound familiar? It should, because, honey, humans have been wrestling with the same big question since we figured out how to scratch them down on clay. Now, before we dive into our first reading, we need to talk about what world literature even is. Some fancy scholars might tell you it's about the canon or great books, but I'm here to tell you, it's about connections. It's about seeing how a love poem written in Egypt might echo the same feelings as a Taylor Swift song. It's about recognizing how a Chinese philosopher from 2,500 years ago might have wisdom that could help you navigate your social media feed today. But here's the tricky part, and I want y'all to lean in real close for this. When we read these texts, we're essentially eavesdropping on conversations that weren't meant for us. These authors wrote for their own people in their own time. They never imagined some college students in the 21st century would be picking apart their words. So we need to approach these texts with both curiosity and humility. We need to acknowledge the distance between us and these texts, be it cultural, historical, or linguistic, while still recognizing the bridges that connect us across that distance. Y'all ever played that game Telephone, where you whisper something to the person next to you and see how mangled it gets by the time it gets to the end of the line? Well, when we read world literature in translation, we're essentially at the end of the world's longest game of telephone. Every text we read has been filtered through translators, editors, scholars, and cultural differences. When we read the Epic of Gilgamesh, that ain't exactly what some ancient Mesopotamian scribe carved into clay. It's been translated, interpreted, and pieced together from fragments. That doesn't mean we can't learn from it. It just means we need to be aware of the voices in between. Now let me tell you my approach to teaching this course. I believe in reading with my whole self. That means bringing your heart, your mind, your experiences, and yes, even your confusion to these texts. Don't be afraid to say, I don't get it. Some of the richest discussions start right there. And speaking of discussions, in this class we practice radical respect. These texts come from traditions that might be your own or might be completely foreign to you. Either way, we approach them with respect and an open mind. There's no room for mockery or dismissal in literary analysis. Well, look at the time. Y'all read the first half of Gilgamesh for Thursday and come ready to talk about what surprised you, confused you, or moved you.